Devil Dolls, currently streaming on Netflix. I had put off watching this one for a little while. It was one of those movies that I kind of just kept passing. And, you know, when you hover over the title and it shows you like quick little images of the movie, none of those looked appealing. They looked cheap. They looked stupid. And I was like, ugh, I couldn't get myself to do it. But I finally just said, you know, screw it. Let's press play on this. And it started, and the production value was nice. It was good. It looked like, you know, a feature film. It didn't look like a student film. It didn't look like some buddies got together drunk with their fucking daddy's camera and shot a piece of shit. So I was intrigued. You know, I pretty much right off the bat, like, oh, wow, okay, this isn't going to be some super ultra low budget, micro budget fare. And then it had a really creepy opening song. Like just a really quick little thing, like a kid singing something. You know, that's pretty much always creepy. And then there is an opening kill, which is like super gory and practical and bloody as fuck, and it looks awesome. And it's like with a drill, and it's like going through the guy's head and just ripping all this up. And I was like, holy shit, man, maybe this movie's gonna be fucking pretty cool. And then it got to, you know, the police came after, and there was some decent dialogue and kind of some good-ish acting from people. And I was like, all right. All downhill from there. So if you do watch this movie, I would recommend checking out the opening and then just shutting it off. Because from there, then nothing happens. So a detective finds the bodies of victims, and he finds also these devil dolls, which he takes home in his squad car. I don't think that's proper police procedure, but it is what it is. And his daughter gets a hold of them somehow. Yet again, terrible detective work. If they're out in the open for his daughter to grab, maybe he should have took him to the, police station first, booked him into evidence. But anyway, so she gets possession of the devil dolls and starts making them into jewelry, because that's what you do with creepy fucking dolls. And then she, anybody who has possession of these dolls, somebody buys them, they take them, they wear them on their persons, and they end up turning evil. Now, one of my main gripes with this movie was the makeup with when they are possessed. It is so silly. They are like this like pale white face and these like glossed over gray eye looking thing, and people's reactions to them are so ridiculous. It's like, oh, what's going on? Are you okay? They look like they're fucking they look like they're on their deathbed all of a sudden, but like this evil version. They're all raging out, and it's like, there's nothing I dislike more in film. I don't give a shit if it's horror, comedy, anything. Well, comedy, I guess you can get away with it depending, and certain kinds of horror comedies, ridiculous over the top. But this is trying to be a serious film, so I should say serious films. I can't stand unrealistic reactions to things. I just can't stand them because it takes you out of the film. And this happens way too many times. The acting is totally wooden. There's actually moments in this film where I think the director, they may have shot the scenes and then choose not to use them, or the director was well aware that his acting crew, the actors within this film, didn't have range enough to hit these notes, when they needed dramatic scenes. So they would literally like cut around them. Like somebody's friend would die, and then the detective would then be in another scene. You see him going to talk to the person, not about the death, but then it cuts away, and then he's somewhere else, and a person asks him, like, what's going on with that? And he's like, oh, I told her, she's devastated. And it's a main character. You'd see that in any other movie, like her finding out that her best friend just died, and like her reaction, like, oh my God, you got to get this. It's a good dramatic scene. You know, you kill off a main cast character and you tell the other person that is, you know, that they have perished, and that person's reaction has dramatic effect. It has, you know, it has motive for them to continue to do what they're going to do, whether they're helping out or getting revenge or whatever. But it's just completely taken away, like, because you can tell that you know that the person couldn't actually react the way that they're supposed to, because everyone's acting in this movie is so poor. So I think it was just a decision. Either they filmed it, as I said, and it was so bad they were like, we can't put this in the movie, or they were like, okay, they don't have the range, fuck it, we'll just, you know, cut around it. And it was so clear. Like, you'd have to watch it. Don't watch it, but if you do, you'll see what I mean. And I mean, that's really it. The ending, the thing that really lacks more in this movie than anything is any kind of intrigue. It's something I continually complain about in these features. And I know that horror is a genre that people are just like, well, come on, man, it's horror. It's not supposed to have the greatest script ever. And it's not. Yes, but you can get original with things. You can try new things. This movie tries nothing new. I use this expression all the time, but it's straight up paint by numbers. They took a fucking horror playbook and they called every play in it. It's just so unoriginal, and it's annoying because it looks good. It had a really cool opening. It had potential, but then every note of the film has been done a million times, and it just gets boring, and no other kill that happens in the movie is all that good. There's some blood, there's this and that, but it's just lacking everything. The ending has no punch. The guy's trying to save his daughter, and you know, whether or not he does, it's just, when it happens, it's like, meh, who cares? And then they set up a sequel, of course, like they do it at the end of every horror movie pretty much ever made, of a fucking sequel I hope never gets made. So yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, because what a good opening. So if you want to check it out, press play, watch about 5 minutes, and shut it off. I'll save you 85 minutes of your life. You're welcome.